We're going to start with the nation. I'm so scared of wearing my glasses.
But
I will read.
Okay, we're going to start with the nation. Audit. Federal government takes step to deregister ASUU. Wike to expose characters in PDP disguising as leaders. Otedola Ahmed, Agwai, Momo, Hassan, others join Abdusalami-led peace panel. Atiku, economic blueprints won't fly, says minister. Multi-choice others reject pay-per-view subscription model by Senate. Amotekun court to carry weapons, says Akeredolu. And why Ondo Ogun clash over riverine communities. How Lagos can achieve good governance by stakeholders. And Tabulan is SGF interim chairman as Fayemi leads FORAF. Okay, which story are we starting with? Major headline, ASUU.
So just as federal government said that the industrial court ordering ASUU members to return to the classrooms and start lecturing will not affect negotiation. Just one day after they said that, the Registrar of Trade Unions, that's a government agency, is now saying, ASUU have not submitted audit in the last 5 years. And upon that, are going to withdraw their certificate of registration.
Wow.
And, you know, this, of course, will just give us more grounds to say, because according to them, it's required that ASUU annually submits its financial report, and that since they have not submitted it, they are looking at withdrawing that. I'm hoping that...
But is this not wrong timing? Because it seems like you waited, if you had said this exactly at the beginning of the year before the strike started, we will understand that you're doing due diligence. But bringing it up now...
5 years after.
Yes, I beg you, made it.
Governor Akeredolu is once more expressing his displeasure with the federal government. According to him, the federal government has granted Katsina State allowing them to bear weapons to defend themselves. And he's not happy that the same approval he requires is not being given to the Western Niger security, which is Amotekun. According to him, it's quite unfair. We're having one nation, two systems. We're pursuing one country, two systems. It specifically said that the denial of Amotekun to bear arms to protect the people violates the tenets of federalism. He said that Katsina was able to arm its own state security force and with the display of AK-47. Why are we not able to do the same for Amotekun? And he added that the independence agreement was based on a democratic arrangement to have a federal state and devolved internal security mechanisms. He, as a result, would have no choice but to defend our people. Now, that is very weighty. What does that mean? Are you going to get your own arms without federal government approval? We'll have to, that's the but it's good that he's speaking up because it's unfair for one part of the country to get arms and that part not to get arms.
Or whatever grounds it is, because we know all states apply and for the right to carry arms or give arms to their security agencies. Whatever grounds there are for approving Katsina, let's compare it to why you are disapproving that of Mekiti, so that we know that there's a transparency.
Yeah. Okay, so the owner of Lakampine Tropicana Beach Resorts, Otumba Wale, entered into an agreement to develop the area into a blooming relaxation spot for global business. Now, there's this Araromi seaside that has been described as untapped gold mine along the coastline of the Atlantic Ocean. It sits on 200 kilometers out of 840 kilometers of beachfront along that Nigerian coastline, and they say it has natural, beautiful vegetation. So they are looking at developing that place. So according to, that's the Ondo State's governor, Akeredolu, launched the construction of 50-kilometer road to connect to that Araromi seaside, and they are trying to make that place another relaxation center. Yes, hold on. No. So this one now sparked sort of aggrievement. The Ondo State is saying this particular seaside belongs to us. Ogun State is saying this particular seaside belongs to us, and they are going to be, bringing out some of their documents, even from the time of our forefathers, how the place was divided, and this was given to both states. So both states are claiming that that particular place belongs to them. I don't know how they are going to sit down and look at this area.
Moving on, multi-choice.
Multi-choice, yes. So the multi-choice, was the CEO of the multi-choice, Mr. John Ugbe, was addressing the committee led by the Deputy Chief Whip of the Senate, Senator Aliyu Sabi Abdullahi was talking about the fact that the pay-per-view will not work. It's not feasible, and I had to read to understand his reasons, because he mentioned that there is no technology to measure pay-per-view, and since there's no way to confirm pay-per-view, that some people would want to watch high-ticket sports shows, and some will now say they want to just pay for that opportunity to watch it, and there's no way there's no technology to ascertain who is watching part-time. This system cannot work. Both multi-choice as well as Star Times and other stakeholders that were at the committee meeting yesterday all said it cannot work.
Who got
They
for
are
us
still
consumers?
But
me, I off my own
It's technology now. You can't develop your own technology
Of course,
first now.
there's technology for pay-per-view in South Africa. Why would you say we work here?
Well, they say
Well,
they don't have
if
it.
you want them,
They say
go
it is
show now.
different for pay as you go.
Yeah.
It's different. Pay-per-view is what the Senate is pushing for. No technology for it. Pay as you go is
It's
when
there for
they
South
pay for a
Africa,
month or
yeah.
2 months while you're around. You
Who
can
go
take a
talk for
break.
us consumers?
That they say they can be reviewed.
The pay-per-view that I know is that, for example, there's a football match going on, or maybe there's a boxing match. You then apply and say you now put a code and you pay and you watch that one and that's it. And then you go back to your regular subscription. That's the pay-per-view I know. So you pay per that view. The other one that the Senate is asking for, I don't know of it. Maybe if there's another part in the country and the world that they do it. You let us know, because I doubt if they will outrightly tell you there is no technology when there's actually technology. Moving on to Punch. Atiku, PDP, Dare, Wike, Makinde begin campaigns on Wednesday. Hoodlums ransack and loot Ogun School. People sent home. 245 killed in Kaduna communities attack, says Monarch. Akeredolu fumes as FG denies Amotekun firearms license. Military to bombard bandits asked residents to relocate. Presidential candidates signed peace pact on Thursday. Electricity consumers paid 210 billion naira in 3 months. Nigeria needs help to tackle debt burden, says Africa Development Bank. And Ongad Buhari woos investors, says Nigeria requires 348 trillion naira. Okay, I was going to start with, go ahead.
Yeah, you know, we're complaining that we don't have enough facilities for our different schools. And here, residents of Alagunta in Ewekoro local government area of Ogun State, were shocked that their primary school, the community primary school, was invaded by hoodlums who went in through the ceiling and carted away with all the equipment they had. The spoon, chairs, the desk, the files, everything. And this school was built by a Lafarge PLC company, probably to support the community.
That happens a lot in Lagos.
They just went in there and took everything. So the school heads have reported to the community head, who said that they would take the matter to the police, investigation will be done. But this is just unfair. We don't even have enough to cater for, and this particular school caters for 2 communities.
Yeah. It happens a lot. I mean, these are stories that government doesn't come out to. They'll tell you. Apart from that, they'll use the school while the kids have gone home.
Yeah.
They use schools to go and do their small hangouts for drugs. They'll do all this. And the teachers can't do anything. The security guys can't do much. You tell the government and they still try to, they'll chase them away. Next day, they'll come back again. What are you going to do?
This is the community. It's a community thing. Community must take ownership of the facilities around.
When the federal government is
The national Nigerian electricity.
Oh, let's go on a break, Nima. Sorry about that. Let me go on a break. When we come back, we continue. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing Punch. Nima was going to take a story.
Yes, so the electricity consumers, according to Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NEC, in 2021, Nigerian electricity consumers paid 210.17 billion naira to discos. And they said that this, compared to the amount of bills given out, it's about 69.34% of the money revenue expected to be generated, which was supposed to be 303.11 billion that was billed to consumers, but they were able to generate 210. And out of that amount, the discos only remitted 149.19 billion. That is about 61% of the. So there's an outstanding of 61.53 billion naira. I'm just saying that this story shows that they generate money and they also have a deficit of payment. It shows that that system is working. That was for 2021, the annual report for that year.
Nothing for 2020.
Okay, I was going to take the major headline concerning the Wike article issue. We're still having disgruntled members of the party. So the National Publicity Secretary of the party, Debo Ologun, was speaking yesterday that they will inaugurate the campaign starting on the 28th of September. and they're going to go on as planned. They're not going to change any plans. And some of the chieftains were spoken to also on this, how this is going to be resolved. And they said that because IU was elected, not appointed, it has to be, it's going to come down to it has to be done democratically, that their party, PDP, opposed the constitution of the party very, very dearly, and they won't, because some powerful stakeholders within the party want him out, they'll just remove him out. Although Governor Wike has insisted that he doesn't plan to leave the party, but he's going to remain in the party. However, he's going to, they pulled that he and a few of his other colleagues who are in agreement with him, like Governor Makinde, Chief Judge, and others, have pulled out on the campaign council, say that they're not going to participate in the campaign of Atiku Abubakar.
Let me take the quick story about what's happened in Kaduna State. So, on Wednesday, at the Kaduna Catholic Social Center, during the commemoration of International 2022 Peace Day, the paramount ruler of Atiap Chiefdom, Dominic Yahaya, has raised alarm that over 245 locals have been killed, while 623 houses were burnt in attacks within his domain, Zango Kataf local government area of Kaduna State. He mentioned that this started since 2019, and early 2019, it was isolated between farmers and became more rampant. About 14 of such incidents have occurred, and it snowballed into a major crisis in June 16, 2020. He said the issue is, it's even very distressing now because they know the attackers. They've lived with these attackers for a long time, and they come to the community and call out the names of those they are going to come and kill for one activity. And they come and attack the persons, and there's nothing they can do about it. So they are just narrating this very painful experience that happens usually in the dead of the night and has left the community desolate, you know. And really, we need to start talking about these things over and over again to bring peace, you know, than trying to use fights to resolve issues like this.
Moving on quickly to Daily Sun, Wike to unveil preferred presidential candidate. FG to confer national honors October 1. NNPC, U.S. Corporation, Exim Bank seal deal on gas project. Why Nigeria in Forex crisis, says CBN. Can inaugurates political strategy committee ahead 2023 elections. Court order, FG has declared war on us, says ASUU. China not planning to take over Nigeria's critical assets over debt repayment, says Envoy. And NDP, Nigeria to spend 49.7 trillion on capital projects in 4 years. Okay, go ahead.
The Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, is blaming the low revenue inflow from oil sales for the nation's current foreign exchange crisis. And he said this at the panel session at the Nigeria International Economic Partnership Forum held in New York, United States, yesterday. So according to him, he said Nigeria has, for several months, failed to meet their OPEC's expectation, that's Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. And the nation's crude oil revenue dropped in August from 900,000 barrels to, from 1 million barrels to 900,000 barrels, which was recorded in July, according to the OPEC's monthly report. And he said this led to the massive depreciation of the Naira. And, you know, at the current market, it was going for 436 to $1. They said they tried as much as possible to revive this using their RT200 project, which is supposed to help boost foreign exchange supply with non-oil export proceeds. So, you know, Nigeria has been focusing mainly on our oil proceeds, and now that is sort of failing us, we have to try as much as possible to diversify, and the government is doing what it can to diversify. They went ahead to give more reports on what has been happening so far.
So there was a visit by the Chinese Special Representative on African Affairs, Liu Yuxi. He came to Nigeria, and also the Chinese ambassador to Nigeria, Kui Jiakum, has said that that the country has no intention, that China has no intention of taking over Nigeria's critical assets as repayment for loan in the event of default, as is being said in some quarters, that they have absolutely no intentions to do that. Yuxi also, who is the representative from China, says that Chinese government's full commitment to improve bilateral relationship with Nigeria is appreciated, and they're going to uphold the One China policy, and they have a very good, so they don't plan to come down knocking on our door because we're defaulting. They're very interested in our infrastructure development, and they'll continue to support Nigeria the best they can to ensure that we build infrastructure. So it's good to know that.
We really need a good relationship with China. The kind of money we are owing them, if they decide to
So they are saying that they are not doing any defaulting. All of you should calm down. Please focus on infrastructural development.
Okay.
And stop worrying about what they're going to
calm.
do.
So CAN has set up a committee to, they inaugurated a committee to, according to them, this committee is called a Political Strategy and Action Committee, and they want to create an umbrella for the body of Christians in Nigeria to achieve its aim. And I was trying to find out, okay, what will this aim be about? He's saying he wants more Nigerians to develop interest and participate in political activities that would herald the emergence of a new set of political leaders in 2023. And he's talking about the fact that there are many issues facing Nigerians. He listed some of the issues. He said if the primary purpose of politics is to just win election, it's not going to work. So they're going to be doing this information, spreading information, encouraging people to get involved, participate. We've lived too long under politics that is manipulative. That's
I wonder if the Muslims too also say they want to have a political strategy to also get, so it would be who's doing
But really,
what?
CAN isn't all Christians. Even CAN itself is just Orthodox churches, not really all Christians. But as many people that will be speaking peace. Yes, there's PFN, that's Pentecostal.
They're all Christians now.
But they have different bodies.
Body. PFN is a different body.
bodies. Yeah.
So, but what I just want is let's push for peace. Let's ask the right questions.
Push for unity.
Let's push for unity.
Let's not be divisive.
Exactly.
That's for me more
in our
because if you're saying that get more people, ours to get, what are you trying to say?
What are you saying?
Because Nigeria is more than Christians.
It's moving on to
all together.
If Katsina security have AK-47, Amoteku must also be armed. Crisis, no living PDP will fight within Wike, tells allies. Let's find a story we've not taken. Tambuwal takes over from Fayemi as NGF chairman. No access to Apapa as trucks, tankers take over roads. Nima tells us this every day. Nnamdi Kanu has not eaten for 2 days in excruciating pains. Since lawyer. Outbound air cargo stagnates at 30.1 billion naira as inbound declines. NNPC US Corporation Exim Bank Seal gas deal. Debt burden, Nigeria needs help, Africa Development Bank says. And 2023 PDP 5G campaign council at war over economic blueprint. Okay, which story are we starting with?
Mr. Ifeanyi Ejiofor, that's Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer, has said that for over 2 days now, Nnamdi Kanu has not eaten in detention. Says he's having excruciating pain because he has this gastrointestinal disorder. And so they have tried as much as possible to get him to see his own personal doctor, but DSS has refused. They have even refused, disobeyed the court order that gave them, given Nnamdi Kanu the permission to see his own medical doctor, and they are buying substandard drugs for him using local chemists. So they are saying that Nnamdi Kanu must not die in that detention. Even the former president, Goodluck Jonathan, has also mentioned that it would be risky for Nnamdi Kanu to die in detention. They are asking that if the DSS cannot take care of him, even if he's what do they call this, a provisional bail, sort of, so that they can take him to see his medical doctors or bring his medical doctor to him in the DSS so that he can be properly attended to. Those substandard drugs are not working for him, and the man is in serious pain. He hasn't been able to eat in the last 48 hours. I think the government needs to look into this. They've been clamoring. I think YK took this story on Wednesday, I remember. Until now, nothing has been done. The government needs to move in. If they need to get him that medical attention, even while in detention, they can handle that. And let it not look like there are some conspiracy theories about how government is trying to deal with him without, recourse to his fundamental human rights.
Wow. Okay, and that story in Vanguard. I was going to take the debt burden by Africa Development Bank. So the president of the African Development Bank, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, was saying yesterday that Africa, alongside especially Nigeria, needs help from the international community in tracking its debt burden. According to financing, it's critical because the debt to GDP ratio of Africa has increased to 70%. Several countries at risk of high debt distress due to unstable economy, issue of insecurity, and unstable debt levels. He was saying that Nigeria's debt level has reached 42.8 trillion naira.
We know.
And the external debt level stand at 16 trillion, and he was just going on and on. Obviously, I think he was also re-echoing what our vice president was telling them in America, if you recall, was saying that we can do some trading for global warming, the issue of climate change. So I didn't also stress, I said that to understand this, all you have to do is take a look at, he was saying that African countries, including Nigeria, need international partnership to tackle climate change. So hopefully he's making that suggestion, because we might be coming back to them to say, listen, if we forgive our debt, we'll use that money to help tackle issue of climate change, which is what the president also echoed when he went to the US recently. Okay, I think we've run out of time. Let's see if we can rush through the Nigerian Tribune.
Okay, so
I
think we take this story. IPPIS has failed the test by our own agency, the National Information Technology Development Agency, which ASUU mentioned. So the Speaker for the House of Assembly, House of Representatives, is saying that why is the government still using IPPIS after it has failed the integrity test conducted by NITSDA? And I'm also waiting for that.
That's all we can take on Front Page Review. That's an interesting conversation. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we have a guest, then go to our hot topic. Stay with us. We'll be right back.